Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Today we have a sort of a shorter video. It is four rap albums that we think are underappreciated or underrated. I have I have three rap and then I have one non-rap, but I think it sort of fits in the discussion that we're having. All right, Garrett, you can kick us off. Give us the first underappreciated album on your list.
Okay, now I'm gonna start with my top here because I personally think that this album has no skips, and I've talked to you about this album before, and I know that you disagree with me, but I'm talking about the 2019 We Love You Tecca, Lil Tecca album. I personally think it maybe has one skip, maybe two skips. Came out late summer
Yeah,
2019, which sucks because it would have carried the 2019 summer if it came out in, say,
June.
May or June.
Yeah.
But I just think that it's an album that doesn't get enough love for how good it is, and I don't think Tech as an artist gets enough love. I think Tech was a great album as well. I don't think Tekka gets enough love, but I think this album in general just has just to list off some of Love Me, Amigo,
It has
Left
a lot of
Did It
bang.
Again, Ransom, Side Note. There's a lot of bangers that you wouldn't expect oh, this song doesn't oh, I don't know what that song is, but then when you really listen to it, it's like,
You
yeah,
remember, yeah, you
you
a lot
know
of things, a lot of
you
songs.
know what that song
Yeah,
is. You know
exactly.
what it is. But so
I
that's my first.
yeah, I don't. I don't love Tekka, but I don't hate the pick because I know I'm in. I don't know, maybe the minority in saying
Yeah.
that I don't like Tekka.
No, I
Uh,
feel like
I think it's very split. Either you love him
yeah,
or you
we
don't
love
like
that
him at
character.
all.
Yeah.
I can see this because this is when we were what 12. This is like a time that you can look back and be very nostalgic on, and I think that album
We were
reminds.
14 in 2019, but not 12. But
Well, I'm 19 now, or 13. I was 13, you were probably 14.
I turned 14 in that.
Yeah, but it's a time that you can look back
Yeah,
and be nostalgic on, and those
yeah,
songs remind you of
hmm
Fortnite, the
yeah,
BBC trolling, and
yep.
whatnot. I have a collab album as my first underappreciated, and it's a collab album between Future and Young Thug, one that I'm hoping can see a volume two. It's super slimy, and believe it or not, it's an album that I was listening to all the way back in seventh grade. This came out.
Short. It's pretty short.
It is. It's only 13 songs, 40 minutes. Came out in 2017. And to me, this is two of, I would say, the top three modern rap artists. Or
I agree.
modern trap, maybe.
I agree. Oh, 100% I agree.
If it's trap, they're 100% in there. And I just think this one has bangers like No Cap, All the Smoke, 200, Cruise Ship, Paddock Water with Offset, Drip on Me, Real Love. I mean, that's more than half of the track list. And it's two legends. So I'm surprised that I don't hear this album be talked about as much as it is.
Yeah, no, I see that. Now, for my second, I'm gonna go with the second to my lesser controversial of my final three. But in my opinion, I think you're gonna disagree with me, but this is this artist's best album in my opinion, and I don't think a lot of people one talk about it in the tier of albums that it should be in my opinion, as well as it being this artist's best album. But I'm going with the 2020 trap album WUNNA by Gunna is I think his best album, and I
I
think
honestly think I agree.
One of One is very good. Obviously, he's on Slime Language 2, which is also a great album. Drip Season Forever obviously is very TikTok. Like that was really what I think blew up Gunna more.
I
But
don't actually I don't hate that selection whatsoever. I
you look at
like
the
it.
song like Dollars on My Head, Blindfold, Met Gala, Nasty Girl, Cooler Than a Bitch.
I
Like
like Rockstar Bikers and Chains,
Rockstar Bikers and Chains.
Nasty
Yep.
Girl,
Yep. There is
Floor.
Skybox.
Do
Like,
Better is one of my favorite Gunna songs ever.
yeah. I like that is my favorite Gunna album, and I think a lot of people talk Drip Season Forever as one of his best. Drip or Drown 2, One of One. All great albums, but I just think Wanna is just a tier better, and I just don't think it gets talked about one as
Yeah.
his best album or like one of the better trap albums of the 2020s.
Yeah, that honestly, I go back to that a lot, but now looking at the track list, I think that a lot of people would consider Gunna to be in his peak now,
Yeah.
which like I don't hate. I just don't think these albums that he's releasing now hit as hard
Yeah.
as Wanna. I actually really like that choice from you.
Thank you.
All right. I'm going to go with I don't even know if this is underappreciated at this point because it received a lot of love online when it came out last year. But I'm going with Saheem by Sahbabii. I did a review on this. I gave it an 8.5, I think, back in November, and it still holds up. It's been less than a year, yes, but this is something that I think came and went. It got its praise, but when you look back at some of the more underrated releases, maybe in 5 years of 2024, Saheem will definitely be on there because Sahbabii is just such a unique artist to me because he blew up with Pull Up with the Stick 8 years ago, 9 years ago at this point. But he's not someone that's talked about that often, but he
Like
released
when you said, "Oh, did you listen to the new Saw Baby album?" I
yeah,
was
you're like,
who
no.
is who is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's someone that I think flies under the radar, but is very talented.
Yeah.
So,
No, I think I don't hate that at all. I mean, it did get a lot of love, but it also doesn't get a lot of like love in the broader sense, if you get what I'm saying.
yeah, it's a very niche album. If you know who he is, and you'll like it probably,
Yeah.
but many people don't. He probably only has like 10 million monthly listeners on Spotify, if that. I would guess it might be less.
So now now we're gonna get controversial with my third pick. And what I say before I say the album. This artist has fallen off a cliff for me, but and because of how bad his recent music has been, people I think discredit him for how great he used to be. And I'm going back to 2020, back to COVID with the GOAT from Polo G.
No, no,
Yes. Yes. It
I
is
can defend that pick.
It is great song. Like this run of Heartless, Martin and Gina, Flex, Go Stupid, 21, 33, I Know, Beautiful Pain, No Matter What, and Be Something is an unbelievable run of just great songs. And I think people forget how good Prime Polo G was. The GOAT and Die a Legend, two great albums. Then he falls off a cliff after COVID. Don't know what happened. Kind of like Roddy Rich did. I mean, Roddy just didn't drop any music. But
We're waiting on the Roddy album.
we are rating on Roddy.
Love the
I
Roddy
thought he was
Rich.
supposed to drop, but I don't think he
He
did.
was, and then it's been delayed like 5 times. I would love a Roddy Rich comeback so badly.
The GOAT is definitely like I don't go back to it that often anymore, but in that time and looking back at the track list, I could easily go back to it and it could just be great because of Polo is just spitting that
I was
entire.
never a Polo fan, so I'm not.
I
Joe
I
DiBenedetto
was a
will love you.
big Polo fan, but I think you can understand where I'm coming from. This next one you're not gonna understand.
When I think Polo G, I think 2020, I think All American.
Yep.
Just brings me back to that time. I have an album that's a little bit older. I'm not sure if you've heard this before. Bandana by Freddie Gibbs. Just Mad Lib on the production. Freddie is absolutely spitting on every single song. And the production is top tier. I mean, with Mad Lib, you think of the man who produced Mad Villainy. So that's really all you need to know. He has a lot of other classics. He produced No Parties in LA.
Yep.
He's worked with a lot of people. Madlib is just a legend. And this album is very highly regarded by the people who know it, but I think at this point it's 10 years, maybe 11 years old. So I don't think that many modern day younger people know what it is, and I think they should because it's a classic.
Yep. All right. My
Scared
final
to hear this.
my final album is another album from 2019. Kind of a theme here. The COVID
The
time,
nostalgia,
the nostalgic.
the eighth, ninth grade
But
nostalgia.
I will say, I listened. Do you know who Complex Ambition is? Club Ambition?
No.
YI, Marloon, Sound? No, it doesn't ring a bell. Okay, so they blew up off of their Playboy Cardi reaction of his self-titled album, and they kind of created this massive brand on YouTube where they would listen to rap songs, and like they kind of had the influence that guys like
Black Boy Max.
Black Boy Max
Yes.
does now, Zias and B. Lou, how like they would link up with rappers like Club, like these Complex Ambition guys are like they're friends with like Trippie Redd, like they
Uh,
have connections with these artists, and they have this podcast, and so I and the one guy who he left for like mental health, like trying. It was the middle of like BLM kind of COVID. He's like he like stepped away.
oh, I've seen these people before.
Yes, yes. And so I watched, and I was just scrolling through their older videos, and I watched this album review the other day, and forgot how good of an album it is. And a lot of people say not enough features can kill an album, like Ken Carson's a lot more chaos, no features. It was an okay album. Could have been a lot better.
Yeah.
Some albums with too many features can kill it, right? I don't know an example, but this album,
I think music was teetering on too many
yeah,
features. There was 12 features.
this album has 13 songs and 7 features. And the features are perfect. Then you are going to be disgusted. But Kirk by DaBaby is a extremely underappreciated album.
I used to love that album, if I'm
I
being
mean,
honest.
Bop and Vibes, two of DaBaby's biggest songs, both great songs that I have gone back to. Intro, also a great song. But then you have like iPhone with Nicki Minaj, a great song. Toes with Lil Baby and Moneybagg Yo. You have Migos on here. You have Chance the Rapper, Gucci Mane, Kevin Gates. Like, it's just, it's, I think, the Baby's best album. Suge is a very, what album is Suge on? I forget.
Baby on Baby.
Is it Baby on Baby?
I think so. Because he's sitting on his own hat.
Yeah, it is Baby on Baby. Baby on Baby is also a very good album, but I just think Kirk is a better put together album. The songs are better, and DaBaby is just spitting. And now DaBaby's another one of those guys where he just doesn't put out great music.
Yeah.
And like I sent his freestyle to Ben. I said, why can't he save these written freestyles for actual songs to put out? But no, I think Kirk. I thought you were going to be more shocked, but then again, I
I
knew you were
did
more of
like
a
yeah.
DaBaby fan than a Polo fan. So yeah,
My
your turn.
last selection here, and then I have one more that's not a rap album, but I would like to give it a shout out.
Okay.
I have Testing by ASAP Rocky.
Okay.
To me, this is just his most underrated album. You see a lot of Long Live ASAP, Live Love ASAP, At Long Last ASAP. His first 3 albums, but then I think Testing it gets lost a little bit because it's a completely different sound. But I think it's amazing. There's 15 songs on it, and I have 12, 11 or 12 starred on my favorite songs. So, I mean, the production is great. A
Yep.
very wide variety of different vibes you get from Rocky. Frank Ocean feature.
Yep.
There's the only decent French Montana feature I've ever heard. Cardi has a couple uncredited features. So yeah, I just think this is an extremely underappreciated album.
Oh yeah.
And
I
then my second that I want to, or my last one. I don't know if you like this. Obviously, there was a massive banger in Bad Habit, but Gemini Rights by Steve Lacy.
I don't think I obviously enjoy Bad Habit and some of like I enjoy like Prime Steve Lacy was great, but I don't think I've listened to that album fully through for me to be able to say.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I love it. I think I love Steve Lacy. Obviously, hasn't released a project since then,
Yeah.
but
Has he
this
released
only,
anything since then?
I think he's been like released features and stuff.
Yeah.
He's a big like producer, like he's a behind the scenes guy.
Yeah.
10 songs, only 35 minutes.
Hmm.
But to me, when I look at it,
Yeah.
Static, which you definitely know, Helmet, Mercury, you
Yeah.
definitely know those two. I don't want to say he's a TikTok artist because he had a massively successful career before TikTok, but I think he's a guy that TikTok brought a lot more attention to,
Yeah.
and rightfully so. He's very talented.
Yep.
But I do love a good Steve Lacy song now and again. So that's
Yeah.
my last
He's great in
album.
the summer.
Amazing. I guarantee you, soon as I'm in the pool laying on a float, Gemini Rights is one of the first albums that'll come on.
Yeah.
So, all right. I mean, that's all I have for
Yeah.
my list. If there's anything else you want to give a shout out to,
I mean, I could give a shout out to a country album. I know you probably have never heard to a
probably
single
not.
song off of it because you're not a country guy, but I know some of your friends that may watch this are. Acting Up Again, Gavin Adcock's only and debut album. He's probably my favorite country artist, just and one of my favorite country albums ever. And yeah, and then last thing I will say is an album that obviously has its flowers, has gotten its flowers, but you could tell me I'm wrong. I don't usually hear it in top three talks ever, but The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill should be in every single top three album ever talk.
Yeah, I honestly think Lauryn Hill gets glazed a ridiculous amount for only having put out one album.
Hmm.
Is it justified? I don't know because
I think to an extent, because that
well,
album I think is one of the greatest ever.
well,
But
I
the
got
fact that she only put out that album kind of just she can't get talked about
yeah. I mean,
is she the greatest women R&B rap artist ever?
I don't know. I may say
Nicki.
Beyonce,
Nicki's the greatest rap woman ever in my
just because that of her
opinion.
career
Her pure rap.
longevity.
Yeah.
I
Rihanna clears
Lau-
Beyonce. We're not having that debate.
Lauren,
We're
Rihanna and
not having
Beyonce are my top two
Rihanna
R&B.
clears Beyonce.
I don't know. That's tough because Rihanna hasn't released an album since Anti.
That's fair. That's fair.
So, and
She's had some kids though, man. She's been
I
rapping.
know she has. So
Her man almost just went to jail for 30 years.
that's true. But Beyonce has had children, and she's released a few classics since.
I hated her Cowboy album.
I
Cowboy Carter
didn't fully listen to
did not
Cowboy Carter, but
deserve the.
Renaissance is just. I don't know if you've heard it. It is just a dance album. It is a
Yeah.
club dance album that
You love your club. You love
I
your
do.
club song.
I do. I do. That is like. Sadly, I have never heard a Beyonce Renaissance song in Stage West. Why? I don't know. But she perfectly executed the club 80s vibe. And then
Yep.
you also have Lemonade, which very great album, but let's
Yeah.
just not get into that.
Yeah, we're not going to get into
Leave
it
it for
today.
another day.
That's a topic for another time.
Yeah. All right. I mean, yeah, that's all we have.
Yeah.
If you guys,
Shorter video, but
yeah, shorter, but if you guys have any suggestions or any
albums that you
things
should
we
check
missed,
out.
yeah, exactly. Leave it in the comments. Let us know, and see you guys in the next video.